Here are 5 spiritual practices that the spiritually aware use to deepen their connection. Hey guys, it's John here in my living room drinking a magnificent mug of coffee. It's a brisk fall morning here in Ohio. And I wanted to hop on and make this video because I think it's an important topic, because people are always looking for practices or ceremonies or rituals or all those kind of things. And although I'm not a dogmatic ritual ceremony kind of guy, there are certain things that the spiritually aware tend to do as normal practices to create a deeper connection with the spiritual life, or the other side, or just the connection to God. And so I'd like to talk about these in this video and broaden out my own perspective on this. The first spiritual practice that the spiritual aware tend to do is they shut off the chatter. They shut off the chatter. That's a practice. You have to practice not watching the news. You have to practice not listening to people's reactions to the news. You have to shut off the noise of the physical world's own chatter about beliefs that they're struggling against. You have multiple sides of many arguments, and they're always trying to prove their side, and it becomes this noise, this chatter around you. So one of the first practices that people do who are becoming more and more spiritually aware is they tend to turn off the news. They tend to turn off the stuff where they're just having information piped into their brain from people with agendas. I still watch news. I watch 5 minutes of it a day. I get up in the morning, I say, what's going on in the world? I click on my 5 minutes of news. And you know why I only watch 5 minutes of news? Because the next 5 minutes is going to be the same story from a different perspective, and it's going to be that way all day long. They're going to talk about the same story from a different perspective all day long. But in that 5 minutes, I can get the most important stuff, right? I have alerts on my phone. If something major really truly was happening, my phone would alert me. So I don't worry about the minutia of fear and anxiety that people are either spreading or reacting to. I turn that chatter off. I do that on a regular basis until I don't do it anymore. I watch a lot of comedies because I like to laugh, right? To me, it comes back to shutting off all the negative chatter that's out there in the world, all the arguments and the stresses and the my view on this and my view on this, and I just choose to be in the peaceful state. In the Bible, the walking on water story, the Luke version, all the people in the boat are struggling, and they're terrified, and they're going to sink and drown, and they're all going to die in this storm. And Jeshua walks by casually, showing them that the storm is in their mind. The storm is this expression of craziness in the physical world. But if you calm your mind, it doesn't affect you. If you calm your perspective, it leaves you alone. You're not part of that equation of chatter. And so shut off the chatter, not only physically, but in your mind as well. Come back to that calm space. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. Because that I am is who you are authentically. So shut off the chatter. The second spiritual practice that the spiritually aware do to awaken to their greater and deeper connection is to listen consciously. Listen consciously. People don't tend to listen consciously. They tend to just listen and react. But to listen consciously. What are they really saying? Why are they saying it? And is that fearful? And are they afraid of something? And what is the fear, and how can I alleviate the fear? You listen consciously to what they are saying, what you're hearing in the world. And you from a very conscious level make a choice about your perspective on it. I tend to choose to live in a joyful, loving world. I tend to choose to look at the crazy things that are happening in the physical world as just things that are happening in the physical world. My job is not to save the world. My job is to make my part of the world so bright that the world chooses to save itself around me. I find people who are fearful, who comment on my videos, and then I also have the people who say, your videos have really helped me, right? My job, your job, our job is to listen consciously to the people around us, because we're all one. We're all one with God. And if you can realize that you don't stop where your skin ends, and you can start to realize that those people out there around you are showing you a representation of something in your life. And you can go, okay, I can alleviate that fear and make that part of the world brighter. I can alleviate that fear and make that part of the world brighter. I can show them a more joyful, I can be the safe place where they can just authentically laugh and have a good time. Being very conscious about what you're hearing, listening to what they're saying, understanding that it's fear, but not reacting without thinking first. Come back to that space of understanding why they're saying things, listening to how they're phrasing things, putting the idea of their phrases into the perspective of where does that choice come from? Where does the belief behind that? Listen consciously to everyone around you and react out of love and not out of fear. The third spiritual practice is something I like to call preemptive gratitude. We hear a lot of people talking about gratitude practices where they get up every morning and they talk about how grateful they are for the things they have in their life. That's wonderful. But to really step into this next awareness of self and realizing that you are divine and you are creating in your experience, the idea of preemptive gratitude. I am grateful I am receiving this. I am grateful this is coming into my life. I am grateful for beautiful relationships and the people who love me surrounding me, who I can love in return surrounding me. I am grateful. You're bringing these thoughts into your present moment experience. You're actually creating it into your present moment experience. When you thank for something, it's because you believe you're receiving it. Hey, can I have a cup of coffee? Thank you, because I know it's coming. And that was a great reason for me to pick up my mug of coffee and take another sip. I cheated on you. But the idea was that idea of preemptive gratitude, knowing the world is a positive place, expressing that optimism that you are receiving and believing it. When you pray, believe you shall receive and you shall. Well, if you truly believe it, you're grateful for it because it's coming. No doubt, no question. It's coming into your experience. Preemptive gratitude. You can be grateful for I'm grateful for all the stuff in my home here. It's lovely. It's wonderful. I have it already. I don't need to be grateful for it. I'm grateful for the things that I'm bringing into my life. I'm grateful for these new things coming into my experience. I'm grateful. This is all lovely and wonderful, but I'm preemptively grateful for the good that's coming into my experience, for the good that's coming into my life, for the opportunity to meet beautiful people, for all these things that I'm creating into my experience, my present moment experience. I have preemptive gratitude for. You never leave your present moment. The future is coming to you and will show you what you're believing about the now. And if you are preemptively grateful for something, it comes faster. I'm preemptively grateful for this beautiful life that's surrounding me right now, the abundance that's surrounding me, my monetary abundance. You can ask for money. Money is not the root of all evil. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible literally says the love of money is the root of all evil. When you get so invested in the greed and the love of it, that's where people start to do evil things, quote unquote evil things, bad things, fearful things, hateful things to other people to get more money. So that's why the love of money is the root of many evils. Money is not evil. You're allowed to be abundant in life. Joshua, this amazing man who wandered the earth, was being housed at wealthy people's homes, who was wearing clothes that were given to him from the wealthy people. He was fed by wealthy people. He was laid in a wealthy man's tomb. He was bought off the cross by a wealthy man. He hung out with Lazarus, who was a landowner. He was a wealthy landowner. And he told him, he says, you can't follow me because you're too invested in your businesses, basically. So Joshua was abundant. Everything he ever needed in life was taken care of. the monetary system back then was not like the monetary system now. So you can't compare the two. But he was living a fairly wealthy life, even though people, he was an itinerant preacher going around the countryside. He was taken care of, and you're allowed to be taken care of too. Preemptive gratitude. I'm preemptively grateful for the abundance coming into my life of love, of money, of personal experiences, of all kinds of things. You can create anything in your life. It's just don't be greedy, basically. And so preemptive gratitude is an amazing spiritual practice that people can absolutely put into their life in a daily practice. Here's another spiritual practice that I think could if people would do more of this, I think people would be happier in life in general. Give yourself daily nature time. Just get outside and breathe the fresh air. Go out and look at the trees. If you're not very mobile, go to your back deck and just be outside. Like me, I like to go on my back deck and drink my coffee and be outside, right? Just spend some time outdoors in the nature of the world. Fly the trees, the forests, the fields. Just go out and enjoy that feeling of being outside. Even on rainy days, you can sit at your window with your window slightly cracked if the rain's not blowing. You could smell that rain air. Oh, it's so beautiful, right? Hear that sound of rain falling. Beautiful, right? You can enjoy nature every day. And if you can get outside of your house, you're no longer in recycled air. You're out in fresh air, and you're just really experiencing the vibrancy of nature. It's rejuvenating. It's rejuvenating to just get out of the man-made constructs of the world and get into the nature-made constructs of the world that are free of manipulation, that are free of control. Right? Get out into nature. Experience that place. For many people, nature itself is their church. It's their cathedral. You go out and you experience your spiritual awareness out there. I've had so many big spiritual experiences out in nature. I remember years ago, uh, we were doing the medieval fair up in Ohio, and we were staying at a campground. Right near the campground was a ravine, and down in that ravine there was a beautiful stream that was going through there, and the 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 base of that ravine was shale, and so they had these what looked like beaches, but they were actually big, giant slabs of shale. And I used to go down there, and I used to sit and I used to meditate down in that natural place. I'm down there and I'm meditating, and I come out of that space and I'm in just natural state, and a blue heron goes right over my head, just following the ravine. And I'm sitting there and just in that natural state. And I get up and I finish the meditation. I'm walking around, and there was this gigantic tree that had fallen, and it fell across the stream to an island that was in the stream. And it basically created a natural bridge. This tree was a bridge over to the island. And I got up on the tree and I walked out across it. And I was halfway across, and I just stopped in the middle of that little natural bridge created by that fallen tree. And I was just feeling how beautiful it was, and the nature was just stunning. And I turned and I looked to my left, and right on the shoreline, on the other side of the stream, was an 8-point buck. And he was just staring at me, and I was staring at him. And we were having a moment of just staring at each other. And then I got excited. And I was like, ooh. And the second my shift, my energy changed, the buck freaked out and took off running. The second my inner feelings got out of the serenity of just being in nature, the buck felt it and ran away. Go out and get into that place of just the serenity in nature. Go out there and just feel what nature feels like. Go out there and just listen to a babbling brook. Hear the leaves rustling in the wind. Hear the rain dropping on the ground outside. Hear and feel. Listen to the birds chirping. Listen to the things that are happening in nature around you, and just get into the awareness of how broad and how beautiful our natural world is. Because if you do that, you're going to have a huge spiritual awareness experience. Number 5, make it a ritual to be kind daily. That's a better ritual or ceremony than anything else you could possibly do in life. Make it your spiritual ritual to be kind daily. The Dalai Lama said, "My religion is simple. My religion is kindness." If you're going out in the world and spreading kindness and joy and love and laughter, you're creating a world around you that is kind, joyful, loving, and laugh filled. And so that kindness that you are choosing, make it your ritual to be kind to the people you see in life. Make it your ritual to see that person who might be struggling and do something kind for them. Make it the ritual to help someone up. Make it your ritual to tell someone they look really nice today. You see someone who's obviously gone out of their way to really make themselves look great. Make it your ritual to be kind and express your feelings. You look great. You look wonderful. I love your hair. I love your sweater. Ma'am, can I help you up on this curb? Are you okay? Everything okay? Those sorts of things. Hey, can I hold that door for you, buddy? It doesn't matter who they are, male, female, whatever. I hold doors for people all the time because I think it's just kind. I went and I did my early voting here in Ohio the other day, and there was a queue that was all done with the big yellow chains on poles, and I walked over, and as I walked up, the guy says, "Just duck under the chain, you'll be fine." So I ducked under the chain, and then I saw this woman walking up, and I looked at her, and as she walked up, I said, "I got the chain for you, ma'am." I held the chain over. She stepped in. She says, "You can go ahead of me." I said, "No, you go right ahead. You're fine." And in that line, we had beautiful conversations with everybody around us. I saw there was a man behind me wearing a Vietnam veteran's hat. I thanked him for his service, and we shared all kinds of cool stories about military experiences. I wasn't in the military, but I did do 6 USO tours. And then this beautiful elderly couple comes walking by us, and they were just so joyful and smiley, and they were like, "It's such a beautiful day." They were, as they walked by us, you could feel how bright and light they were. It was beautiful. Now, I was in line to vote. This could be a very contentious area, but it wasn't. I was being kind. They were being kind. The people coming into the line around me were beautiful and caring and kind. We were creating a kind experience. I walked up to the counter inside the voting place, and the beautiful young woman took care of me and got me all signed in. And when we all got done, I said, "Thank you for being a poll worker." And she said, "Oh," and you hear, "Oh," nobody had said that to her yet. And I got the chance to be the first to say it to her. And then right behind her was her boss or the manager. She says, "Isn't she doing a great job?" I said, "You know what? Every one of these people is doing a great job. I see smiles across the board. You guys are doing a great job." And she said, "Well, thank you, sir. That's so kind of you to say." And I go over and I did my voting, and I got in line to put my ballot into the machine. I'm standing there in line, and I have a numbers thing. 444 is a big thing for me, and I'm standing in line holding my ballot, and there's multiple machines there. And I look over, and this machine right next to me is 443. I'm like, "Wow, that's really interesting." The next one was 439. I was like, "Okay." So, well, when I got up to the front, the machine that opened up was 444. So I think it's kind of fun. I have a 444 thing that naturally I just find it enjoyable, and so it made me very excited. And whatever, I did that. I got in my truck and I drove home feeling really good that I had already done my civic duty, and I had already voted for who I wanted to vote for, and I felt good about that. But it comes down to living in that kindness, even in places like that. I was being kind and considerate, and the people around me were being kind and considerate. And we got inside, and we were being kind and considerate, and I got rewarded with this little thing 444, which made me smile right? And I hopped in my truck and I drove home. As I drove out of the parking lot, I thanked the sheriffs who were out there directing traffic. I thanked them for their service, and we kept on going. We did this beautiful experience going to vote. How is that? But it comes down to, in those moments, choosing to make it a ritual to be kind. I'm looking at my note here, choosing to make it a ritual to be kind. That is huge in this world. If all of us would make it a ritual to be kind, we'd have a kind world all the time. Because people want people to be kind to them. People want to be loved. And when you are the one delivering love, you're the one who's going to get love in return. It's when people get fearful of not having love or fearful of the people around them, that they have fearful experiences in their life. So the more kind you are creating, the more kindness you're creating into the world, the more kindness you do receive. And it really comes down to you making it a ritual. So when you look at what I'm talking about here, turn off the chatter, listen consciously, preemptive gratitude, nature time daily, and make every moment a ritual of kindness. Make every moment a ritual of kindness. If you can do that, we can change the world. Each one of us can do that. We change the world one person at a time, and that one person is you. You make this your part of the world kind. I'll make my part of the world kind, and we'll show other people how to make the rest of the world kind, and we'll create a kind world. It's that simple. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be ascensions and 5Ds and all that stuff. It's just be kind. Just love one another. I leave you one commandment: love one another. And all of these things are part of that process of just loving one another. And you guys, I hope this makes sense. I hope you take some of this and roll it into your own truth. I don't expect anyone to believe anything I say, but I do hope that you find some truth and caring and kindness in what I'm delivering, and that you yourself can take something from this and put that caring and kindness out into the world and create something new. Thank you. It's been a great time talking to you today. My coffee is really good today. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.